Welcome to Cooking with Love by Daisy, with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. To tell you something about myself, my mother was a very, very good Southern cook, and I had to call her daily and say, well, how do you make this? How do you make that? Well, I'm going to show you some little tricks in the kitchen. 30 minutes approximately to have a real tasty, good meal for you and your significant other. Let's start off with salmon and shrimp. I think a lot of you like salmon, and I know all of us love shrimp. So here we are with the salmon. And here we are with the shrimp, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the salmon and the shrimp, and I take the shrimp and I kind of wash them off so you have a nice, tasty, delicious shrimp. And you gotta wash them and you have to peel them. So when I wash and peel them, here's the salmon. And I'm gonna use the air fryer. I think a lot of young adults love the air fryer. So do I. It's a way you don't have to turn on that hot oven. I love it. And the air fryer has a button here that says seafood. You see that? So it makes it really easy to cook this salmon in no time without anything that you have to do special. I love the air fryer. So here we are, and we're gonna take the shrimp and we're gonna peel them. I like fresh shrimp. I like fresh shrimp because you do have to peel them. It's a little work, but I don't mind. I don't mind peeling them because they're fresh and they're absolutely delicious. These are jumbo shrimp, and I usually like to go to Big C, if everybody know that where that is, and they have fresh food and everything. My mother, being from the South, this is what we would do. We would have to clean the shrimp, and you peel them, and you get ready to stir fry them. And I stir fry them in a really delicious sesame seed Hawaiian type sauce. It's really good and juicy. And we're gonna take it. Let's go ahead and put the salmon in the air fryer because we're gonna have this done. And I normally kind of rinse it off the seafood. I rinse it off. And I don't like using a faucet because I don't trust the water. So you just take the salmon and you cut it like this, and you're cutting it in half. And I've already rinsed it with water, okay? So you take it and you take your seasoning. I like a little Cajun season, whatever brand you like. Add a little Cajun to it. Then, because I like spicy, I always add a little cayenne. So I put a little cayenne on it, okay? And I think that's about it. So then we take it and we put it in the air fryer. I love this thing. It's so easy to clean up. It's so easy to put your seafood in there, put it in the air fryer, and hit on. This says seafood, and it's hit start. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gonna cook to perfection. So then what I do, sometimes I add a little lemon on it afterwards once it come out. So anyway, now we can move the salmon, because I'll cook the other half later. And I'm steady peeling them off. This isn't hard to do, but since some people might not know how to clean shrimp, and you just pull the shell off like that and add it to my shrimp. Sometimes I count them and say, okay, we'll both eat about 8 of them each. So I usually count them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is make 10, this is 11, 12, 13, So all you young ladies that's learning how to cook, or young men, then I'm showing you, that's why I'm letting you watch me do this, because maybe you don't know how to peel shrimp, okay? So we're just about at 16 shrimp, maybe 2 more. And they're pretty nice size if you look at them. They're pretty nice size shrimp. So then you take them, and like I said, I like to rinse them off. I'm really funny about water, and the water we drink is probably a little bit better than what the city water. I might get in trouble for saying that, but I just don't trust it. So now, you take the shrimp, and then you take them, and what I do is I cut them. They're already clean. They've taken the inside out of the shrimp. But I cut them open to kind of look butterfly, and that's what they call a butterfly. So then, oh, see the air fryer is telling you now the salmon's gonna cook. That's why it beeped like that, because it had to preheat at first. And then you just cut these shrimp. See, there's nothing in it. That's how you, see, there's nothing in them. And when you start to cook them, they'll turn pink. And that's how you know they're ready. Seafood, you shouldn't cook over, say 4 minutes, not quite 5. And when you cook them, they're gonna turn pink. And I add the seasoning to it when I first put it in the pan, okay? So these are really gonna be good and plump. They kind of get fat on you. You know how you see shrimp and it's curled up big? That's what they do when they start to cook. But I like buying this from a certain store, because they usually have these big giant shrimp. And it's like the stores that are, there's, see, you don't want that in your shrimp. That's from the actual shrimp that they missed taking out the inside. It's just that one vein. And I don't like cooking with that there. And then I just rinse them off. And we're just about finished. This will be done. And then I got like 2 more after this one. And they're really easy to slice in half, so just be careful with your finger, because you can slice your finger. So just, they're not hard at all. And do that. 1 more. Now, we have all the shrimp done. I rinse them 1 more time. I'm just a junkie for extra cleaning them off and letting them drip. Okay? So now what we're gonna do is come over here to my skillet. I love using cast iron skillets. This is what my mom always used, cast iron. I love it. And I have a whole bunch of Dutch oven pots, but I just put a little oil, and skillet is a little warm already, so we're gonna add them in. Sometimes I'll take a paper towel when it doesn't spread like I want it to, so I do this. I just kind of spread the oil. Very thin, you see that? It's really thin. You don't see a lot of it running. So then you dump the shrimp in. See that? Dump the shrimp in, and we're gonna do the same thing we did with the salmon. We're gonna put a little Cajun seasoning. Buy the brand that you like. I don't have to tell you what brand. And then this is cayenne pepper. If you like it a little spicy, you put the cayenne pepper. Kind of get a little bit on all of it. Like I say, a little bit of that and a little bit of this. And I normally don't measure because I had a Southern mother, and my mother didn't measure anything. She said, oh, just put a little of this and a little of that. So here we are with the shrimp. And so you dump your shrimp in the warm skillet pan with a little olive oil. And this is what you do. You just stir it around. Okay? And like I said, if you want to, you can take a lemon and you squeeze it. You put a little lemon on it. Okay. That gives you a little salt flavor. So you put that in. And then my favorite thing on cooking anything, and I use it a lot, marinating things, this is my secret. And you know what? You don't usually like to give a plug, but this is it is a sesame seed dressing, okay? It's sesame seed. So whatever kind you can find, I love this brand, and I need to give them a little crumb because this is the best I've ever tasted. And you just put a little bit of, like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You put the sesame seed dressing, which is delicious, and when we finish this, we're gonna pour it over the salmon that's finished, okay? It's gonna be really, really, see how the shrimp is, look, see how they're turning up? So you end up with really plump shrimp. And they'll be done in another 2.5 minutes at the most. And you just turn it over. It's seasoned well, got a little lemon sauce in it. The feast from the East is sesame seed, and it has an Asian flair to it. It's really, really good over the actual, it's really, really good with the salmon. Now that we're cooking this, we only have 1 minute and 36 seconds if you look at the timer on the salmon. And all we're gonna do is put the salmon in here. So I'm gonna get the quinoa rice, and we're gonna microwave it for 90 seconds. And you can get it at any market, and it's quinoa rice. See, it's an organic quinoa brown rice. And you just squash it like that. And then you take it and you split it like that. And sometimes I use butter. Sometimes, look at our shrimp. We can cut them off. They're ready. Take a look at those shrimp. They're ready. Put a little bit of this. This is olive oil. And I put a little bit in the quinoa rice. And then you take it, then you put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. 90 seconds, and it is good to go. 90 seconds, and the rice is perfect. The shrimp is ready. Look, come look. Look at that salmon. Is that beautiful? And it's delicious. Doesn't take a lot to make it look that good. Now that you see what the salmon looks like, then you take a spatula, trying to get it out without tearing it up because it's so flaky. And look, come on. Ooh. Uh-oh. I kind of lost a piece, but that's okay. It's still edible. You just take it out. Wow, look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? So you see how beautiful the salmon is? Then you take this and the sauce and you pour it over it. See that? Look. Can you see? Wait for you to be on the back side of me, but look at that. Look at that. I had some friends over at Guest when I first moved here, and they were, from my old town, and her girlfriends had never, really had my food before. And they was like, are you a chef? So that's why You know, sometimes people just have to show you the simple way of doing things. So now I'm gonna steam some broccoli, and it's really, really quick. And you take chicken bouillon. I love the powdered kind. I don't really like the cubes. And for some reason, chicken bouillon makes your vegetables taste really good. It's a little salty, so you don't have to put salt in it. But bouillon is just great. I love it. And then you take minced onion. You don't have to cut it up or anything. These are like great, they're dried, they're flavorful, tastes really good. So then you just put a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Just remember, that's how Southerners, they don't really melt it. And if you like onion, it doesn't matter. This probably equals about a tablespoon and a half of minced dried onion. So you can buy this just about anywhere. Okay, so now if you look in the pot, look, you have onion, you got bouillon, and you need a little butter. Now if you noticed, I haven't used butter on a lot of stuff. I use oil, but for your broccoli to taste really good, you put the minced onion and the bouillon and butter. So we're gonna take the butter. I'm just gonna cut about a third of it, not quite a half, okay? And so then you drop the butter in there, okay? And then the actual broccoli, I buy everything organic because I'm funny about the food that I eat. So I try to buy something halfway healthy. And once it's boiling, like look in here, you can see your butter and your everything in there. And you take your broccoli and you dump the whole bag in there, okay? And it's gonna steam, and it'll be cooked in like less than 5 minutes. I'd say about 4 minutes. You'll have nice cooked broccoli tasting very good, and our dinner is ready. And like I said, it's probably a little less than 30 minutes, you know, but you just give it a minute. And I cook it on high so it'll cook fast. And the broccoli is what they call flashed, frozen, fresh vegetables. And like I said, they're organic, so we just give it a minute and it'll be ready. And we're gonna eat dinner, and you'll find out that this is a very tasty, healthy meal, and with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Stay tuned and enjoy. Now that we've steamed our broccoli, we're gonna dish this all up and enjoy. So here's the steamed broccoli. And remember, when you're cooking vegetables, especially if you have children, make sure that you put bouillon on it because it gives it a whole different flavor that tastes really good. And you remember I put olive oil in here, okay? And you get about 2 servings in this quinoa rice. How about that? Now, see how that looks? All with a little bit of love and a little bit of that. Enjoy.